Hey, good evening. It's really amazing to have you guys here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be reacting to Pentatonix's rendition of Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. I really love this song. It's just so beautiful, and the lyrics are very moving and touching. And to know that a group as skilled as Pentatonix being able to perform such a profound piece that's impacted my life, I'm just really excited to jump in and listen to their very unique arrangement. So, without further ado, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the sultry sounds of Pentatonix.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help
Chills.
falling in love with you. Shall I stay?
Oh,
Would it be a sin
oh, chills, dude.
if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand,
Oh,
take my whole life too. But I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. But
Oh.
I can't help
yeah.
falling in love with you.
Oh. Oh, just magnificent. This very slow, dynamic growth throughout the piece, and this very gentle decrescendo after the climax. Just these very beautiful harmonies, some nice chromaticisms and echoes throughout the piece, and at the very end, just having this very gentle chord and having this obvious bass note at the end. Just it was just so quiet. It didn't need to be emphasized. It's just so gentle, and the piece just carries you all the way through it. Even with the crescendos and louder dynamics, it doesn't feel like it's being pressed against you. It just feels warm throughout the entirety of the piece, regardless of dynamic. It starts off with this cool atmosphere, and it just progressively becomes warmer as it starts to unwind a little throughout the rest of the piece after the climax. It just maintains that level of warmth while also telling you that the piece is finally concluding. The message has been said, and it's just so lovely. It's so gorgeous. I love that piece. I love the original of that piece so much, and Pentatonix sure did do it justice. And I'm really excited just to jump into the analysis of this. So let's do that.
Wise man.
Just that beginning breath. Something that I like to keep in mind when I'm performing is, especially at the beginning of the piece, when I'm singing an open vowel, or any vowel in particular, but just starting with, for example, the first word wise. Wise is a diphthong. It has an ah, e, and wise. And you would typically want to elongate the ah, the wise man, and just keep the e's at the tail end of wise. So when you breathe in, you want to breathe in on that open ah. Why? Just so it comes out a little bit smoother. It isn't solely just a technique thing. It's more for the smooth transition of the breath that had an intended purpose, which is that open ah sound. If you breathe in like the group did on that beginning vowel of, where it's just very elongated horizontally, just having that wah versus wah. It has a very minor texture to it, and it just flows out a little bit. Just having that wah versus wah. There's a different subconscious feeling when you breathe in on a vowel and assign a breath to a vowel versus just breathing in just because you're breathing. But that being said, them all breathing perfectly together throughout the entirety of the piece is exactly what you want to hear from an a cappella group. You want to make sure that everyone is on the same page all the time, that even their quick breaths are together, and I really appreciate that.
Wise men say only fools rush in.
I love that. Just kind of allowing that end to slowly cradle into the breath. I love it.
But I rush in. But I can't help falling in love with you.
So many beautiful chords here. I want to listen to that again.
Can't help falling in love with you.
Lovely unison.
Shall I stay?
Nice. Just these neighboring, like this whole composition is just so wonderful.
I stay. Would it be a sin if I can't help
Yeah.
falling in love with you?
And I like that. You is a very difficult word to sing because it's very forward, it's very direct, and what I mean by that is by saying you. Ooh is very much through your mat. You, just that ooh is a vowel that is so through your mask that it's hard to make it open and very beautiful instead of piercing, but their gentle nature and how they approach the you. One way of thinking about it is to just completely open the you. Yo. But it doesn't necessarily fit the piece. You still do want it to have that feel of the original, of Elvis's rendition. So just saying you. It's still forward, but it's so gentle, and mixed with their dynamic and the flow of the cadence musically and how it was structured chord by chord. It's just magic. It really is.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be.
And I love that too. Just that. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. And each single phrase has its own distinct feel to it, even though the chord progression is the same. And it just keeps carrying you to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, until it reaches some things are meant to be. And just having that final cadence just be a difference from the previous three, and just have those same progressions in the first three just finally conclude with the entirety of those four cadences put together. It just flows so well. And something I mentioned in other videos is that when you repeat something, not necessarily words, but also just if you're repeating, say, chord progressions from your previous phrase, you always have to do something different with it. Otherwise, there's no real momentum being generated. You're just showing stagnancy or a stunt in the flow of the music. So to have something unique about each one, and it wasn't necessarily even dynamic, it was just the feeling of the momentum. It was listening that each vocalist of the group was adding a little bit of themselves into each progression of those same chordal phrases with different words, and each one is solely responsible for carrying their own momentum and the momentum of the group, and that just allows the ending cadence to just feel so warm. I love it. Let's listen to it again.
So it goes, like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be.
Just that Some Things, just by Mitch, and then the rest of the group coming in right after. It's, yeah.
Things are meant to be. Take my hand.
Oh.
Take my whole life too. But
I do wish that those O's were a little bit more open, because it felt a little too, not sharp musically, but sharp texturally. Like, ooh, whoa, instead of ooh, whoa. I would have preferred a more open vowel, just because this piece is just so broad and it completely envelops you in its warmth, that I just want to keep feeling that broad warmth instead of more targeted direct vowels. It doesn't take me out of the flow of the music, but it does add a sensation in my body that is outside of that warmth that I just want to consistently feel throughout the entirety of the piece. But that's more of a personal desire than a direct criticism on the group.
I can't help
Oh, just Avi's bass line there.
life too. But I can't help falling in love with you.
Yeah, love that deceptive cadence there.
Love with you.
Oh, and by the way, a deceptive cadence, in case you don't know, is where you think a chord is going to end on the original first chord, the one chord, but instead it goes to, say, a minor six, or just some other chord that you might not expect, just so that the momentum of the piece doesn't just end on this one cadence, but instead you're adding an enormous amount of momentum to carry into the next phase of the song, which is the upcoming bridge.
Love with
I love these echoes, dude.
River flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my.
Oh my gosh. Having a strong unison and then the echo of that unison still met with an exact unison. I've mentioned this multiple times, but unisons are so hard to do because it's not just hitting the pitch right in the center of the pitch, not being sharp or flat or anything like that, but making sure that your vowel, the shape of your mouth, and how you're resonating that vowel are all the same. Because if you do, say, oh versus oh, then having those played side by side are going to sound drastically different, even though it's the same note and the same dynamic. There's so much that goes into an exceptionally well executed unison, and they just absolutely nail it. Even with the echo, they're not all coming in together. Having that echo still come in and make it sound like it was there the entire time, it's just remarkable.
Take my hand, take my whole life too.
Ooh, I like that from Avi. Life too. That's more of a composition note, but Avi executed it very well.
Whole life too.
Yeah.
For I can't help falling in love with you.
Ooh, love that little arpeggio down.
But I can't
Yes, love this texturally.
falling in love with you.
Oh, chills, dude. Goosebumps everywhere. Yeah, I just have goosebumps everywhere, man. That was so moving and so lovely. Something that I will note throughout the piece is the piece didn't feel choppy by any means, but each chord was so meticulously crafted that it felt as if there was a very slight separation from chord to chord within the cadence. So I suppose another criticism I would have would be the fact that it could have flowed a little smoother from chord to chord. But that being said, I really don't even think that it's necessarily necessary. Just in terms of, just as a personal preference, I really enjoyed the flow of that piece. If it was smoother, that would have been fine, but honestly, the way it is just, it was great as is, and honestly, I don't think I would change it. I really appreciated what they did with that piece, and I really enjoyed that quite a bit. Quite lovely. Quite lovely. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here, and if you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I do read all of the comments, even though I might not heart or reply to all of them, so please know that your comments do not go unnoticed, and I do take them into consideration as I make future videos. I deeply appreciate all of you being here. It really does mean a lot to me, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.